SquareXO, and this is SquareXO episode 84. Today I'm joined by Nick.
Hello.
Unfortunately, Lloyd can't be with us this week, and Rebecca's ill, so get well soon, Rebecca. We're all thinking of you and hoping you get better. There's nothing serious, by the way. I'm sure she'll get over it soon.
Just the world's worst cold.
Yeah. Tonsillitis or something, isn't it? Hopefully she feels better soon anyway. Not something you can talk in the podcast with anyway.
It doesn't make for good radio. Bless her.
No. Okay, so yeah, get well soon, Rebecca. Okay, before we start, don't forget you can follow us at squarexo.co.uk, our website, where you can see the latest reviews, and there's lots of them. Also, twitter.com/square_xo, and we're on patreon.com/squarexo. Sorry if you heard me messing about with a sticker there. I don't know why I was doing that. Okay, we're also on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, and you can listen to the show as well on youtube.com/JoeAnsonWater. Don't forget to enter SquareXO November. You've still got time. We want to see your screenshots, so send them through and you can win a great prize. And yeah, I think that's everything. So we can get on with the gaming news. Okay, there's not a lot of gaming news this week. I think it's mainly because it was Black Friday. And everybody was just like talking about that all the time instead, and it just sort of took over. I know it took over for me anyway. It's well busy, so yeah. So I spent far too much money. How much did you buy anything Black Friday?
I bought the PSVR, which I think I got that for about 130 quid new, which is pretty decent. It didn't come with Astro, sadly, Astrobot, so I'll have to pick that one up separately, but I did grab Tetris because obviously I haven't had a chance to get it installed yet, moving house over the weekend. So as soon as I'm done doing this, I'm going to go load that one up. I was looking at a Switch, but this really, really annoyed me. The entire time, in the weeks running up to it, I've been talking about getting a Switch forever. The price was about 250 quid. All the way through Black Friday, all of the sites had stickers on it going, Black Friday deal, it's £250. It was 2 weeks ago. That's not a deal if it's the same price.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the greatest. I mean, it was £250 on Amazon. I don't think it's ever been £250 on there before, so I think it was cheap for Amazon, but maybe not cheap for anywhere else. I don't know. I wasn't really paying too much attention to the Switch, but yeah. It's worth it for Civilization though. It's such a good game on the Switch. I had to stop playing it because I was reviewing. What was I reviewing? I don't know. I was playing Civilization, then I stopped playing it to review what? Darksiders? Possibly Darksiders, whatever. I can't remember what I've reviewed recently, but I know I reviewed Civilization, so it's probably Darksiders I stopped playing it for. So I've not been back to it since, but I'll be going back to it because it's cracking. So it's really good on the Switch. Really like it. Did I buy anything? The only gaming related thing I bought on Black Friday was what do you call it? A new blue DualShock controller.
I was going to say it's Cyber Monday today, so if anyone missed out on the Black Friday stuff, there's still that little bit of a chance if you're quick.
Yeah, and you can also check out all the deals on dealsfromatz.co.uk, which is our website as well. So that's just our deals website. So yeah, check that out. All the deals every single deal we tweet out is listed. You can also follow at dealsfromatz.co. At dealsfromatz, not .co.uk, just at dealsfromatz. So yeah, that's our website, so it all helps us. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, so I got this blue DualShock controller, and I noticed because when I got my last blue one, it was ages and ages ago. This is the one I threatened to break on the podcast because I was so annoyed, but I was never going to break it. But I noticed it's got all the black backing to it, but the new DualShock's controller, the blue one, has got a sort of blue backing. So instead of being black and blue, it's just all blue. It's really cool. Really like it. I like the way they've done that.
Is it firing up the collector inside you?
Yeah. I've got so many controllers. It's stupid. I didn't need that one. I've got a clear one. I've got a white one. I've got God of War, the grey, a few grey anniversary ones, a few PlayStation anniversary ones. The Pro one, I mean, black one, red one, Star Wars one, the list, a gold one as well, actually. The list goes on.
What's the Star Wars one? Was that C-3PO?
Yeah, it's got black and it's got grey thumbs and it's got red and grey buttons and also a red D-pad. So it's sort of
like Darth Vader kind of thing.
Yeah, it's quite cool. And I think it says Star Wars on the trackpad for what I remember. I can't see it from when I'm sitting, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it says Star Wars on the trackpad. Anyway, I think that's the only gaming related thing I bought on Black Friday. But yeah, make sure you pick up Astrobot because that's really, really good. Anyway,
I think it might be on this sale on the Black Friday PlayStation Store at the moment. Actually, I'll go buy that when I'm done with this too.
Yes, it's excellent. It's really excellent. It sort of reminds me of a Mario game. That's sort of how good it is. Sort of Mario 3D game. I mean, I'm not a fan of Mario, so I think it's better than Mario. Yeah, but it is really good. Brilliant. Or Moss as well, another one I'd highly recommend. Moss, brilliant game. And Job Simulator. Oh, Job Simulator is so good. I love those games by Alchemy Labs, Job Simulator, the Rick and Morty one, that's quite funny. And they're bringing out Vacation Simulator. All of them are so much fun. That was the very first game I played in VR, Job Simulator, and you just put a headset on, and once you get into the office environment, you're just all of a sudden, this whole office sort of surrounding you. It's the very first thing I'd seen in VR. I'd never seen anything like that before. So it was my first experience in it, and it was just like, wow, this is bloody amazing. and I was just picking up everything, throwing it at everybody in the office, hitting them in the head with staplers and stuff. Oh, it's so funny. You can pretend it's your boss or whatever. It's funny. Pull their tie off and shred it and stuff. Oh, it's brilliant. You need to check that one out. It's so good.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
Oh, it's excellent. It's one of my favourites. Anyway, we kind of got a bit way away from the game news there, but it was kind of relevant because we were talking about Black Friday, so yeah. Okay, so there's not much game news anyway, like I say. The first bit I've got here is that the Agent trademark has finally been abandoned. This is the game that was meant to be a PS4 exclusive from Rockstar. Agent, don't know if you know much about it.
I vaguely remember something about that a long time ago.
Yeah, it's years old and it's been going on and they've been renewing the trademark now and again, but they've finally decided enough's enough now and they've not even bothered to renew it. So that game is officially never
I'd forgotten it existed, so that's fair enough.
Yeah, it probably was never coming out, but now it's official. The Red Dead Online beta starts staggered release tomorrow. I don't know much about the online. That's another game I've kind of disappeared from at the moment. It's been a while since I've played it, to be honest, and I was really, really enjoying it. But then obviously something else came along, and now I've not played it for ages. But the online sounds like it could be quite interesting because I quite like the game as it is. But imagine if you've got friends and you're sort of riding along together in a pack with on your horses, it could be quite cool, really, couldn't it?
Yeah, I played the original Red Dead Redemption way back when I was living in Japan at the time. And it was great being able to jump on a horse and go and just shoot random people with my brother who was living in London at the time. Which, if you're with the right people, I think Red Dead Redemption 2 would be wicked online. Yeah. But it has to be like a close, tight-knit group of friends. If it's just a random stranger, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, exactly. Outruns come to Nintendo Switch. Oh, yes. That makes me happy. Outrun. I'm surprised there's not a big outcry from the internet going, oh, well, it's sexist now. Now you've got the blonde in the passenger seat. Unless, of course, they patch that out. I can imagine the petitions to patch it out. Controversial, but hey. You know what I mean? No, the internet complains about everything, don't they?
They do. It's a bit of an echo chamber at times.
So that's just my little joke that, I'm surprised they don't want to patch it out. But nah, it's silly. Maybe we could have a man in the passenger seat and have the blonde driving. How about that? Just to mix it up a bit. That'd be good. But anyway, that's relevant. It's a great game. I love Outrun. Do you like that game?
I never played it. It's one of those ones it's just never got around to it.
Oh, I love it. It's so funny.
A tragedy of our time. So many games and not enough time.
No, I know. It is. It is. It's a really good game. I really liked it. That and Chase HQ, brilliant. Brilliant. Oh, by the way, I never meant any offence to blondes or anyone. You never know where you're going to offend these days when you're making a joke. So there we go. Right. Where are we? Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee breaks first week's Switch sales records with 3 million copies sold. That's pretty impressive. But then it was always going to sell on bundle, wasn't it? It was never in doubt, was it?
Yeah, the Eevee one sold out really, really quickly on Amazon in particular. Then it popped up about 3 or 4 days ago at a slightly inflated price. But
and now
I'm impressed that Eevee sold. Yeah, I'm impressed that Eevee sold quicker than Pikachu. That was my option of the two. I didn't get around to buying it in the end, but Eevee is what I would have gone for.
Yeah, I went for Pikachu because Pikachu is just what you want, I think. But no, I'd not played it yet anyway. The kids have played it, but I'm not really that bothered. I thought I would play it, but I really bought it for them. So maybe I'll play it one day. But with Civ sitting on my Switch, that'll probably be the one I would choose. Oh, such a time sink, that game. We'll talk about it in a minute. Rocket League finally gets Xbox One enhanced support in December. Yeah, not much more to say about that. And work is resumed on Telltale's final season of The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Who's doing that? It's...
I'm terrible with names, I forget. But I did see today that they aren't...
Skybound.
That's the one.
Yeah, apparently they're in trouble, are they not?
Well, their forecasts for the amount of people that would be buying the game after they said they were taking it up haven't quite been met. I don't know what their forecasts were or how far away they are from meeting those targets, but I genuinely hope they do, because the Telltale Games Walking Dead, Telltale Games' Walking Dead games, is a mouthful, are absolutely fantastic. For those of you that haven't, there won't be any spoilers for those of you that haven't played Season 1, do play Season 1. But the twists and turns in that are probably going to be one of the ones that will stick with me for the rest of my life as a gamer, because you don't see it coming. And the ones that, so much I want to say, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't touched it. If you haven't touched it, play it. If you haven't bought the most recent ones, do buy it.
Yeah, support them. I'm not bothered, but you can support them.
I've always loved point and click, and these ones are just fantastic. I couldn't even finish the TV series. It just went on for absolute ever, and I got bored. But
like Telltale's Telltale's other games, like Game of Thrones and stuff, but Walking Dead, I'm not really a fan of the series. My wife likes it, but I'm not really into it that much, so it's not really a game I would choose to play anyway, in that respect. But well, I'm sure it's good for whoever does play it. Just not for me, really. Fallout 76 first major patch is a whopping 47 gigabyte on console. That's big, isn't it?
It's ridiculous, that.
It's not really set the world on fire, has it, Fallout? People aren't really that bothered about it.
Yeah, I really hope it doesn't kill the franchise. I am a massive, massive Fallout fan, and I have absolutely zero interest in 76. And from the reviews that I've read of people like me that absolutely love the Fallout franchise, they absolutely detest this game. One review that I saw said it was basically picking up junk in the wasteland simulator, which... I don't know. I'm probably never going to play it. I don't really like online games like that. It's not my bag. But I really hope that Bethesda don't turn around and say, you know what, this game didn't sell. We've got to can this series.
I don't think they will. I think they'll keep going with it. I think it's probably just something they're trying. So obviously if it fails, and they can keep supporting it, and if enough people end up picking it up, it will keep going for a while. We'll see, won't we? I'm sure there are some people who like it. So, but yeah, we'll see. And there's no charts this week. I was going to say maybe it's because of Thanksgiving, but it's a UK chart, so I doubt it would have been for that reason. But for some reason they hadn't published them at the time of recording. So, the last thing we've got in here is that Spyro sold more physical copies at launch than Fallout 76 did.
Shock horror.
So yeah, that's
one that I got at launch. So
yeah, did I get Spider? I've got Spider, yeah, but I don't know if I like it that much. I'm not really that fussed about it, if you know what I mean. No. So the last charts, which I don't know if we read out, we probably didn't read out last week's charts because we recorded on a Sunday. So the last charts I've got here was from the 17th of November, week ending 17th, and Spyro was actually top, ahead of Red Dead Redemption 2. And then it was Fallout 76, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, FIFA 19, and then Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So Pokemon Pikachu actually outsold Eevee in the UK retail charts. So there you go.
Nice.
Go Pikachu.
Yeah.
Okay, so yep, there you go. That's gaming news. Blah blah blah. It's over. Okay, now what we're going to talk about is Darksiders 3 because I can't hold it in any longer.
Go for it. You've been waiting for weeks.
Oh, right. I've been waiting so long for this game, and my wife, honestly, I put her through it. She was going to me yesterday after I'd finished playing it and finished my review, and she's just going, "You really care about that game, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And it's just, where do I start? I mean, let me just start from the beginning. Right, the first impressions I got of it when I first started was that it looked like a PlayStation 3 game. I mean, the first scene, the opening scene, is just not good. I mean, the positive point about it is you fight against like a boss straight away, because you have to basically fight against the 7 sins. So you fight against one of them straight away, which in a way is quite good because it sort of sets you up with a big sort of idea of what's to come. But at the same time, you're still getting used to the controls, which are quite awkward because one of the first sort of hollows you get is fire. So the hollows is you got your special ability, and you get 4 of them. I won't say what they are because I don't want to spoil it, but they're quite cool. So the first one's fire though that you get, and with fire you can do this sort of high jump. So you need to kind of make use of this against the first boss because she sort of flies up in the air. So you need to jump up to the top platform and then jump off of it and just give it a whack so that you can continue the fight. So
sounds simple enough.
Yeah, but it's just getting used to jumping because it introduces you to this jump mechanic where you need to jump and then you push X to sort of fire your whip at a sort of log that sticks out from the wall so that you can swing across onto the next platform and go up higher and higher. But obviously, you're still getting used to this, and you've got a boss firing at you and stuff while you're doing it, and it's just.
It doesn't matter if it's simple. If it's a simple thing to do, if your character controls like a tank, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, so it's a bit awkward. Once you get used to it, it's fine, but it's a bit awkward. And then the fact that the opening scene looks a bit like a PS3 game is a bit of a shame, really, I would say. But it's good. I mean, you sort of, I'd say from there onwards for the first few hours, it gets better and better, and you kind of feel like, oh, this is a Darksiders game. It's really, really good. It's enjoyable. It's tough. I mean, they've made it a hell of a lot tougher than the other 2 games. I mean, I had to play it easy because I was just getting my ass whipped. And then even on easy, I was getting my ass whipped. It's really, even on easy, it's hard as anything. It's tough as nails. So like, I just persevered. I kept going. I got past quite a few of the other 7 sins. I think I got past at least, I think it was about 5 of them I got past and started to get the new hollows and the new abilities. And then I started to notice the issues with the game. I mean, there was issues before that, which I'll discuss in a minute, but I just first of all want to focus on the other issues, which is the sort of game-breaking bugs that started to appear for me. The first thing that happened was that the sound, I've never seen a bug like this before, but it happened twice, but the sound completely disappeared. There was no sound. And so I went back to the menu on my PlayStation, and there was no sound on the menu. The sound.
I've had that before, just before my PlayStation died.
And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell's going on? So I checked Netflix because I thought maybe my Sonos speaker was broken or something. So I checked Netflix and thankfully there was sound. I was checking all the cables on my speaker and stuff, thinking, oh my God, is my speaker broken? I love that speaker. And checked Netflix, no, that's all fine. Turned PlayStation off on again, loaded up the game, sound was back. Then about a few minutes later, it just cut out again. So I went back to PlayStation menu, no sound again. So I thought, this is just weird. So I quit Darksiders, and then the sound appeared on the PlayStation menu.
Right. So it's like a particular level that's...
So it's like the game's fault. So I loaded it up again, and then for some reason it was fine from then on, and it just kept going. So I'm thinking, yeah, okay, that's weird. Go on a bit. You get introduced to these new creatures. I can't remember the name of them for some reason. But basically what you do is you see these creatures and then you need to hit them and they'll go along because they're quite tall creatures. So when you whack them with your whip, they'll move and then you can climb on their head and use them as a platform basically.
Sure.
So quite cool idea, but I got to this level a bit later on in this abandoned warehouse and I'm thinking, where the hell do I go? There was all this stuff in the wall that if you had this certain hollow, you'd be able to get through it, but I didn't have it yet. And I'm thinking to myself, have I missed a hollow? What have I done? Have I missed a major set piece of the game or something? I'm scratching my head because I was about half an hour thinking I don't know where to go. So I turned the game off and I came back to it. And then I went back to that same level a bit later on. And one of those creatures was there. It's like it didn't spawn the first time I was there. Yet when I turned the game off, turned back on again, went back that level, it was there, it had spawned. So obviously I couldn't advance in the game without that being there. And when I got there first time, it wasn't. So that's a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, you could kind of class that as a game-breaking bug, couldn't you? Because you can't do anything more.
If things aren't spawning in the right place, the sound one is the one that gets me though. When you panic that all of your other stuff is broken and it impacts everything else outside of the game, you're sitting there, you're getting up, you're checking your cables. If it breaks the flow of the game that badly, it is a game-breaking bug.
Yeah.
I guess by definition, things not spawning is, if it's something that you absolutely 100% require to finish the game, then that's unforgivable.
Yeah.
If it's something that you want that you can't get, that's really, really annoying. But
it had to be there. You couldn't because you had to jump its head to get up higher so that you could move on. So basically, you couldn't move on for it being there. So that was annoying. And then a bit later on, when I went to see Fulgrim, who's the sort of, he's got the checkpoint, but he's the one you feed your souls to, because you gain souls when you kill creatures, and then you can use the souls to level up and buy shards and stuff, which you can use to heal yourself. So he also sells enhancements, and he's got 3 special enhancements that you can plug into your weapon. One of them, I can't remember the name of all of them, but one of them's for rage, and one of them I think was for weapon damage or something. I can't remember 100%. And one of them's for regeneration. So obviously, if you hit a creature, there's a chance you'll get some health when you hit it if you have this enhancement plugged into your weapon. So I bought that, thinking, that'll be quite good considering how much my health goes down during the game. So this regeneration one would be brilliant. So I bought it, went to plug it into my weapon, and it wasn't there. And I thought, that's weird. So I bought the other 2 just to make sure it isn't something I hadn't done wrong, and they were both there. So I thought, that's a bit odd. So I went to see if I could buy it again, and not once for the rest of the game could I buy it again. So that sort of crucial enhancement that's kind of crucial in the game just wasn't there for me for the rest of the entire game. So it's that, that's a bit wrong, even though I'd bought it. That's just weird. And then
what makes that worse, as you said in the review, that the more you die, the harder the game gets. Anything on top of that makes it more punishing is just...
it's annoying. So it's got to get that bit in a sec, but I just wanted to mention a few more things. Was that the game was just, the frame rate at points was just unbelievable. It just slowed down to a crawl, and also every time before a sort of major event, like a big massive creature spawning, or if you were going into an area with loads of sort of creatures, the game would just freeze for 2 or 3 seconds while it loaded. And it's just
way to kill the tension.
I know. So I mean all that thankfully can probably be patched. So I sent them an email with all the issues I had and said, look, here's all the issues I've had. Hopefully they'll at least acknowledge what I said. So yeah, they did acknowledge what I said about the next part. I don't think they understood what I was trying to say, but the difficulty. Now, I'm all for difficult games. That's absolutely fine. But when there's 5 levels of difficulty and one of them's easy, you'd think for people like me who I'm not really a Dark Souls or Bloodborne fan, I enjoy challenging a game, yeah, sure, but I don't want it to be so challenging that I'll just go, right, I've had enough of this. I mean, if it wasn't Darksiders, I'd probably just went, can't be bothered. Do you know what I mean? Because, I mean, I think there's people like me who are fans of the series who just love the story. And I like, if I wanted to be challenged, I'd play one of the harder difficulty levels, or maybe I would play the story, enjoy that, and then go back and play in a harder level.
Yeah, games should be for everyone, not just those who have flawless button mashing technique or whatever it is that you need for a particular game.
I think on beginner it's just too difficult, and I said to the developer, look, fine, I mean, you've made it challenging, that's all well and good, but at least I think it's a bit unfair, and this is a bit that annoys me, is you have this special ability called Rage, right, where you build it up when you're fighting, and then your rage meter will fill up, and then just for, say, 30 seconds, you can use rage, and you can use it against a boss, you can use it against anyone, and it makes you invulnerable while you're using it, and so you can get really good damage in. So it's a really important special move for when you're struggling. And so yeah, that's excellent. What also good about it is if you're low in health and you activate that, it regenerates your health too. So it's quite important. And also, like I mentioned about Vulgrim, you can buy health shards from him and stuff. So say you're fighting one of the 7 sins, one of the bosses, and you use this rage and you use health shards, because you're bound to use all this sort of thing when you're fighting against really tough bosses, aren't you? So I use them up and they kill me. When I go back to a checkpoint, they're not there.
That's something that I hate the most in games.
I swear, in most games, if you have something before you fight the boss and then you use it against the boss and then you get killed and you go back to a checkpoint, you still have it. Do you know?
In the vast majority of games, yeah, but I think it was around the Dark Souls time that kind of went out of the window for the more challenging things, which that's perfectly fine if you're playing on ultra hard mode. In that case, if you're that much of a sadist, then by all means, masochist even, by all means play on that difficulty. But that should not, under any circumstance, be under beginner mode.
Or even in a normal mode, in my opinion. I mean, I'd agree with that. In my experience, if you're getting killed with a boss, you need all the help you can get. You don't want them to make it harder. Because the other thing is, they take away any souls you'd gained, which is your currency, which you can use to buy health and stuff. That goes to 0 when you get killed.
Yeah. So the more times you lose, the more likely you are to.
Yeah, exactly. So they take away your souls. They take away any advantage you had, like rage or health shards, and anything like that. Anything you've used when you're fighting the boss is took away. So therefore, if I use everything and I still don't beat the boss, and that did happen to me on 2 occasions, I had a rage shard and I had rage, so I activated rage, fought him, used my rage shard to fill up my rage again, and then activated rage again. I used all my health. I had a minute bit of health left, and so did the boss, and he, just as I tried to activate health, which is another issue, because when you try and activate health on the D-pad, it's so bloody stubborn. I mean, it's got so irresponsive. You're like pushing the button, and it just won't do it. I mean, I think I said I had a little bit of health left, but I think I had one health. I think I had one healing left, so I was desperately trying to push it, and he hit me before it decided to activate. So he killed me. So I'd used all this stuff up, went back to the checkpoint, and then I had nothing. I had no souls, I had no rage, I had nothing. So actually, it was harder the second time round to beat him than it was
the question
the first.
There, it uses up your items after you checkpoint. Can you then load a manual save to get those items back, or is it just
you can't
auto save only?
The only time it saves is when you go to Vulgrim, who's got different sort of, well, we'll call it shops, but he's got different shops around each level. But basically, if you can't save it, it'll only save when you find one of his shops, which is the save point.
You could conceivably quit the game, go back in, and replay the last 10 minutes to get back to the boss, kind of thing.
I'm not even sure. And the load times are so slow that I don't think you'd want to. But I just that really raged me. That did, because I just think it's really unfair. And the other thing is, right, I mean, I'm still talking as if I hate the game, and I don't. But the other thing is, some of the checkpoints aren't actually right outside the boss. So, for instance, who was it? One of the bosses. Can't remember what boss it is. Some are and some aren't. But there was one of the bosses where the checkpoint wasn't outside the boss. So if you get killed, you have to then go back and run through all the monsters you've already beaten to get to the boss. And this isn't an easy game. So say you have all these rages like I just mentioned, or you have all your shards and you use them all up. You go back to a checkpoint. All you've got is your four. You've got this, I can't remember what they're called, but you've got these 4 Nephilium or something they're called, which you can heal with.
Okay.
You get 4 of them no matter what every time you go back to a checkpoint, which you can heal with. But obviously you don't have any other advantages. That's just what you always get anyway every time you go to a checkpoint. So if you run through and pass, you'll obviously have to fight against the monsters again, so you're going to lose some of them. So it's even harder by the time you get to the boss, because you've got even less health than you'd have as normal as well. So, I mean, they could at least make every checkpoint right outside the boss, but they don't. So
it sounds like a comedy of rookie errors, this.
It is. I mean, the design decisions baffle me in parts of this game. They really do. I don't understand it.
I get wanting to emulate or try and recreate.
You still there? Oh no, we've lost Nick. All my raging's sort of worn out his phone, I think. Let's see if we can get him back. We'll see if we can get back. Sorry, I'm rabbiting on.
I'm back.
You're back. We lost you for a sec, Nick.
Yeah, my phone decided to try and connect to the Wi-Fi, even though there is no Wi-Fi signal in this part of the house.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, I think the design decisions are a little bit silly in places.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I can understand wanting to recreate or emulate the success of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, those kind of games. Wanting to put challenge in your game is a lovely idea. All games should have a challenge in them somewhere. But if you try and make your game that challenging that it'll only appeal to one small subset of the gamersphere, you're just going to isolate all of the people that love the game and push them to one side.
Exactly.
I don't know if you said the score that you gave in that sec there where I blipped back out.
No.
Have you? Let's say, despite what you've said, you still gave it a fairly high score, which is encouraging.
6.5 out of 10. I mean, I love the game. Never have I been more conflicted when reviewing a game, because I absolutely love the series, and I still love Darksiders 3. I still love the story. I still love the characters and the setting. I do like the combat. I like it. It's challenging for me. I find it really tough, but I still enjoy fighting against the creatures there are. I enjoy the different weapons and the different special abilities. There's so much I actually really like about it. If they would patch it up, that's obviously going to make me happier. If they could try and somehow make the game a little bit more accessible for people like me who just enjoy the story and even if it's keep it tough, but just make it a bit fairer in that when you respawn, you have all the stuff you had before you got killed. I mean, even just that would make it. Eventually, I would beat the boss. No, I mean, if I had the stuff that I had before I fought him, eventually I would beat him. I would find it tough, but it wouldn't take me about 2 hours to beat him. I would beat him quicker than that.
That's the thing. A checkpoint should be a fixed point in time. It shouldn't be you're going to come here with your stuff missing. I haven't played the Darksiders 3. I played the first one. I skipped the second because it was bugging out on my PC, so I couldn't get past the first couple of levels. But in the third one, is there a thing where you die, you come back to life? Is there any kind of...
Oh yeah, you do have. There is a shard that you can use if they kill you. You can regenerate or something.
Is there a plot reason why your items would be taken off you, or is it just...
Nah, they're just trying to copy Dark Souls and make it difficult, basically.
I wouldn't say that's a smart move by any stretch of the imagination.
I think it was a silly thing to do, and I hopefully they'll see there are the ways, at least in the lower difficulty modes. I mean, sure, do it for Ultimate or whatever it's called, or the two highest difficulty modes where you really want to give people a challenge. But I mean, you're just isolating. There are people like me who just love the story, and I love the action too, but I just don't think you should be isolating people completely. I mean, people choose the lower difficulty levels for a reason, do you know what I mean? Because they want to enjoy the story and they don't want to be stressing out and pulling their hair out. And like I say, I've got through a lot of the game anyway, despite I've practically finished it. So, I mean, 20 odd hours I've played, and I've died so many times. But I've persevered and I've kept doing it, and I've beat the bosses. So, do you know what I mean? I've done it, but
there's a kernel of a good game in there somewhere. It just needs a bit more polish.
I've not enjoyed having to beat bosses and sit for 2 hours trying to beat one boss, because the stuff I had, like the raging stuff which I had fair and square, get took away from me when it shouldn't have been. It should have just regenerated along with me when the checkpoint reloaded after getting killed by the boss. But anyway, other than that, it's a brilliant game. And I do love it. I do love Darksiders. I want another one. But yeah, I think what I've said's fair. I think if you read my review, you'll find it is quite a fair and balanced review. I could have just gave it a 10 because obviously there's so much. I think someone said that, I mean, Twitter actually, oh, you're going to give it a 10, aren't you? So I mean, but no, that's not me. If
it's worth a 10, then yes. Otherwise, no.
Exactly. I'd give this game the score I think it deserves, and I think this one deserves 6.5 just because of the amount of bugs in it. If those bugs weren't there, it might have been an 8. If they'd regenerated me at the checkpoint with my stuff, it might have been a 9. But I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Okay. So here's a question. What is the buggiest game you've ever played that you still absolutely loved? For me, it'd probably be something like Skyrim or Fallout New Vegas.
Probably Darksiders 3.
There you go. Question asked, question answered.
Yeah. I can't really think of any others, to be honest. But I mean, what do you think of that? Because it was quite an interesting comment on our Twitter, actually, where the guy was saying he's got a problem with the reviews that mentioned bugs, because the game might be patched and then eventually the game might be better. And like I said,
I get his point. I get his point. Yeah, so, the developer doesn't want the game to be. The dev doesn't want the bugs to be there. It's not part of the finished product that they were hoping to put out, which is a shame. It's a shame for all of us. We don't like sitting there saying, "Oh, this game is buggy. You shouldn't play it," because the bugs aren't supposed to be there and detract from the game. If a game is bad because it's poorly put, if the game is bad because of bad story, then it sucks having to say that, but we will always say it. If a game is bad because it's technically not finished, it's just unplayable, then we'll say the same. We don't want someone going out and spending 50 quid on a game, hoping to sit down and have 10, 20, 100 hours of just escapism when it's the only 50 quid that they can spend on a game that month, and have a game that is utterly unplayable. It would be dishonest not to mention the bugs in a game.
I mean, we can only review the game based on the code that we get. That's as simple as that. And we're not a huge site. We're not IGN or whatever. We can't really go back and revisit games. Not when we're reviewing 40 games a month. Know what I mean? We don't have the time, really.
Every now and again, we'll do something like Rebecca recently played the BioShock games and Dead Space, which they've been out for they've been out forever. I don't even remember the years they came out.
Yeah.
But when she was talking about them, she wasn't talking about the bugs because they all got patched.
Exactly.
When the reviews came out at the time, everyone was like, yeah, there's a couple of issues, but you can play around those.
And White's got his patch notes featured as well, where he talks about games like that as well. But I mean, no doubt, if a game gets better, we'll talk about it in the podcast. I mean, simple as that. But I mean, if you think you're going to buy a game and you read a review and you think, oh, it's full of bugs, then I'm sure you would go on the internet just to see if the bugs had been fixed up since. Really.
Failing all else, just get it on the PC so that you can mod the hell out of it with console commands. Oh, that item didn't spawn. Shift tilde, da-da-da-dam, bam, there we go, I've got the item. That's how I've played all the Fallout games.
Do you think bugs is more accepted now, though? If you buy a game and it's buggy, do you think people just go, it'll be fixed soon enough? Or do you think they get genuinely annoyed? Because I personally get genuinely annoyed if there's bugs in a game I've bought.
I think everyone's so used to playing stuff pre-release in alphas, betas, that kind of thing, that bugs are to be expected. And yeah, bugs are in every game. You squash one bug, you get two. That's just how this kind of thing works. But if it's a little bug like, oh, you're clipping through the scenery there, that's not the end of the world, that's fine. If like in Skyrim, where you're walking through Dragon's Reach and you fall through the scenery, you just suddenly die, that's a bigger issue. If the game absolutely crashes, I was playing, I think it was Lego Batman. I couldn't get past the second level because the door wouldn't open. The door to get to the end of the level wouldn't open. I'm on YouTube, I'm on GameFAQs looking up walkthroughs for the second level going, I don't understand why this is so difficult. It turns out the game just didn't work. You don't get your money back. It's just something you've got to deal with.
Yeah.
No one should turn around and say bugs are commonplace, thus they are acceptable. Racism is commonplace. It's not acceptable.
Yeah, I just don't like. I don't like it. I think if you're going to release a game, I'd rather you delay it by a year, 2 years, and make it perfect than have it just riddled with bugs. It's just how I feel about it.
Just don't do what Duke Nukem Forever did. 10 years in the making, and then it was just awful.
Because no one wants to play a broken game, really.
No.
So I mean, yeah. And
unless it's Goat Simulator.
And to be honest with you, I've reviewed hundreds of games, and a lot of them aren't really that bad. A lot of them don't have a lot of bugs in. Most of the time, I'd say the quality assurance is quite good in most games. But it's just that sometimes when it happens, like with Assassin's Creed and stuff, it's just weird. People just go off their head because it's not good enough, really. It shouldn't be happening.
That's the thing with Unity, that one is just such a horrible bug there. That's going to go down in video game history. They shouldn't have released it when they did. The fact that you're sitting there, you're talking to someone, and your face just melts away. You're just floating eyeballs and a mouth in the back of a wig.
That's just friggin' weird. I remember that happened to me in the Telltale Batman game. I was fighting against the enemies, and then I came up against this enemy, and all it was some eyeballs and a pair of teeth.
Yeah, that exact same thing happened to me while playing it.
I was like, what the heck was that? That was so funny, but it was freaky at the same time. It's like I'm fighting some guy with a pair of teeth and some eyeballs, and there's nothing else there. No, it was weird. Anyway, okay, we better move on, because this might be a shorter episode, and it hasn't been. Oh, wonder why, because I'm on one of my rants. I've not had one of my rants in the podcast for a long time. I'm quite good at doing rants as well. Okay, right, there's no drop this week because PlayStation didn't release it. I'm guessing it's because of the Black Friday, the Thanksgiving in America. So it
just means there'll be a double drop next week.
Yeah, there might be, but probably not.
No, probably
okay, so
not.
we'll just say what's coming out this week. We'll go up to the 30th. So we've got Wreckfest isn't coming out anymore. That was delayed, so I don't know why that's still there. But this week we've got Darksiders 3, obviously. That's out tomorrow, I believe. Spin Tires Mud Runner for Switch. This Warmind Complete Edition for Switch. Art Survival Evolved. It's apparently coming to Switch this week as well. And Asterix and Obliques XXL2 for PS4, Xbox One and Switch. I remember playing an Asterix game years ago and it was quite good.
Never played them. I used to love the comics as a kid. I used to go to the library, back when libraries were a thing, go to the library, sit down with my grandmother, and we just read these books. I have never touched them on games, though. Maybe I should give them a shot. Relive my childhood.
I remember playing it against once ages ago, and it was just a wee platformer, and it was alright. I remember Psychedelia of Ashen Hawk and Psychedelia of Black Butterfly, both for Vita, 30th of November. Ride 3 is also out this week, 30th of November. We've got a review for Ride 3 coming. I think we've reviewed some of those others like Ark and War of Mine and Spin Tires. I think we maybe reviewed them in the past. The Council Complete Edition, that'll be out on 30th of November. And that's about it for November. Just looking early into December, you've got the PlayStation Classic coming out on the 3rd. I cancelled my pre-order for that.
Wow.
Surprised to know.
Any reason?
I could do it without spending £80 at the moment on it. I really want it for my PlayStation shelf, but I just thought, do I need it? No, I don't need it. Not really, not now.
I think 80 is a bit much for what it is. If it was 50 quid, 60 quid, probably okay, but
it might get cheaper.
80 is a bit much.
I even cancelled my Darksiders Collector's Edition because I've got the game for review and it's £130 and I just can't afford it. I really, really want it, and I'm hinting to my wife that maybe she should buy me it for Christmas. But no, she probably won't. But she might.
Yeah, fingers crossed. You never know.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, so that's us for our new releases. Before we go, have you been playing anything else?
No, life's been so busy at the moment. All I've been playing is Pokemon Go. But sadly, we're not an Android or iOS podcast. I will say, though, if anyone has started playing Let's Go Eevee or Pikachu, the games do tie into Pokemon Go. And Pogo, as it's known for short, is much, much, much better now than it was at release. Niantic was saying there's more active users now than there were when the game first came out too. So if you're umming and ahhing about it, you're going, oh, I used to like that game, but it wasn't very good. It's much, much better now. There's so much more support they've added.
So
I play it every morning on the way to work.
He still plays it, and we've tried to sort of link the Switch up with the phone so that you can get Pokemon in the Switch. Like I say, I've not played the Switch version of Pokemon yet. I will. I've got it on my Switch. I just want to play Civilization. I know what it was that stopped me playing. See, I know this was ages ago in the podcast, but I know what it was that stopped me playing Civilization. Now it's Tetris.
Yeah, I've got Tetris. I just need to install the PSVR.
I
say install. I need to get it.
Now that I've got Darksiders done, I'll need to have a shot of Tetris. But I kind of want to go back and play more Darksiders anyway. Just maybe start again or something. Because I just love it so much.
Well, come Christmas when you get that special edition, they might have patched the bugs. You never know.
Yeah, and I can play. I'll just start again. Oh, as
was meant to be.
As a really good game. Read my review. I think my review. I would hope my review suggests it as a good game, but I had to score it down.
Yeah, it does. I've read your review, and it's clearly someone that loves the game and wants it to be better. So,
yeah. Good. Because it was hard to write. I had to write bad things about my favourite series, but I guess I had to. It's one of these things, isn't it? It's one of these things. It'd be like writing, for me, it'd be the football equivalent of writing a bad review of Rangers. I'd just feel like, I don't want to write this bad review of Rangers, but I have to.
I once wrote a bad review of a Magic the Gathering game, and their PR company wasn't best pleased with me. They stopped emailing me after the review. But if I hadn't written an honest review, that would have been much, much worse. So, yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Professional pride.
I've played Magic the Gathering, and my friend's crazy into that game, and we used to play it when I was younger, when I was in Glasgow, and we would always play it together, so we'd go to like, universities and play it and stuff, I remember.
Mostly I just go to the pub and play it.
Yeah, that's alright.
Perks of being an adult.
I remember my favourite creature, I don't know, we're getting away from games here, but I remember my favourite creature was a doppelganger.
Nice.
It was got a blue card, I remember, and it was called Doppelganger. I remember it was a really powerful one.
I know the one.
Oh, I loved that. I think it was quite a rare card as well. Anyway, I won't start going on about that because I've no interest in it anymore. And I've probably completely forgot how to play it and everything. So, yeah, I'll stick to games, I think. There is a game version, though.
There is, yeah. Magic Arena. It's now out of beta on the PC, the Mac. I don't think it's out on console yet. I haven't checked. I think it's just PC and Mac, but worth a shot if anyone's interested.
Okay, doke. Right, we're going to wrap it up, I think. What'll be next? It'll be December next week yet?
Yes, it's December 1st on Saturday.
Okay, so next week we'll probably have our SquareXO Extra episode for Patreon backers. That's if we still do one. I'll need to check that because I need to check what levels we're at on Patreon. It gets to a certain level, we do the extra episode. If it's not at that level, we don't do it. So I'll need to check. Also, episode 85 next week. Don't forget, follow us at youtube.com/JohnsonWater, iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Google Podcasts. SquareXO.co.uk, our website, where there's tons and tons of reviews. We're on twitter.com/square_XO, so follow us there. And don't forget to enter hashtag SQXO with your PS4 screenshots, or even your Switch or Xbox screenshots now. And we'll choose the best one. And we'll choose, what do we choose? We choose 4, and then we let you vote for the best one. And then the best one gets a prize. So yeah. Please leave us some nice reviews and like, subscribe, whatever, because that will help more people find us. And then that's good because the more people that find us, the more popular podcast is, and that's what we want, obviously. Okay, so thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thanks for now.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.